Okay, so yo everyone, welcome back to Science Exploration Zambia YouTube channel. Yeah, so today we're back with High School Hub podcast show, and we're joined by Messi Louis Muema, a very good friend of mine, former head girl of Lusaka GRZ, and we're going to be having a discussion on challenges, high school challenges, and how one could deal with challenges while still in high school. Louis, welcome.
Thank you, Caleb. Hello to everybody out there, everybody watching this podcast. It is a great honor to be part of this platform this day. How are you doing?
Okay. Yeah, so maybe not to waste so much time, just to directly go into the discussion, today's discussion. So yeah, Louis, uh, being someone who's mm, been to school before, experienced the high school life. So today we've just decided to pick on one topic. We've got multiple topics that we're going to be discussing about throughout the podcast, but today we just wanted to look at challenges that most students face while in school. So maybe what was your experience like in school? What challenges did you face while in high school?
Okay. My greatest challenges were pretty much the subjects I was taking. Okay. So in my 10th grade, I decided to go into a pure science class. And me doing that attracted so many voices, so many negative voices, so many positive voices that affected me or influenced me one way or another. Okay. So I am this girl. I trusted myself and I decided to take up the challenge of taking up the pure sciences. Okay. So I was in a physical science class, but moved to take pure chemistry, pure physics, additional mathematics, and yes, all that. So as I moved into that class, I got so much negativity from my friends, people I called friends, the people around me, my peers. They would question and say, Louis, you're a girl. Why are you doing these subjects? No, these are good for guys only. Um, you do so many things and you're trying to focus on the pure sciences. You won't make it. Why don't you just come back? And I received all those voices from the time I was in my 10th grade up until my 12th grade. And it was really hard because you're listening to people who you think are smarter than you tell you these things, and you now measure yourself. Okay, where do I stand? Who am I now? So the greatest challenge of all was identity. Knowing your identity, knowing who you are, who you were. Okay, because once you know who you are, it is very hard for people to shake you or move you. Now I was this girl, and I didn't really know my stand then. So when people come up to me and say, "Lou, the exam is hard. Please change your class," I would panic. I would get scared here and there, and I would lose focus. Okay, I'll listen to other voices instead of listening to my voice. But thank goodness for my female teachers, okay, and my male teachers, my family,
Yeah.
that trusted so much in me. They would approach me and tell me that, Louis, you are an intelligent young girl, and until you accept that, nothing good can come out of that out of you. So it was a whole journey of self-discovery. Now, this sounds funny because I'm relating it to school, but this is real. It starts with you. It starts with your mindset. What you are feeding your mindset is what comes out of you. So you tell yourself that you are dull, you cannot make it, you will not pass your exams. Trust me, you will get that. But you tell yourself that, you know what, I am going to try at this. If others have done it, I can do it too. And I decided to take up that attitude. I remember in my 12th grade, final grade, I had a top position in school, so whatever I do, the whole school knows, and it was annoying. It was annoying because I cannot get away. I just could not get away with an F in my exam, so
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
I was expected to always ace my exams and lead by example. That was really hard keeping up. Okay, but I never lost focus. All right, so I knew who I was. I discovered who I was. That is, I'm an intelligent girl and I believe in myself. B, I never lose focus and I set goals to achieve. Okay, and guess what, I wrote my exams at the end of the day and I got my straight A's, my straight ones in all the subjects. All that is because, first of all, I told myself that I can do it. And then I found ways to do it, okay? And you know what, out there, You may be this girl who I was before. You may be this guy who I was before, and you don't know if you're going to make it. You don't know what to make of yourself. Let me tell you something. There's so many methods that can work for you. Are you going to spend more time on your studies? Are you going to spend much time on your past papers? Are you going to spend time asking people for help, helping other people? These are things that encourage you, that build you up. There's times you have to humble yourself and tell yourself that I don't know the solution to this question. Let me ask for help. That builds you too. So I think those are some of the few challenges I went through back in high school.
Okay. Wow. What's very interesting is that being a girl first, and then you did pure sciences. And just to put the record straight, a lot of people, I've met people that are really scared of pure sciences, especially, girls would ask me such questions like, but how do I deal with pure sciences? How do I tackle these challenges in school? And to some extent, one thing that you've raised a very good point is that, people told you, um, sometimes what a lot of people don't understand is self-realization that they can do it. So people told you that, okay, Louis, you're this intelligent girl, you can do it, don't be intimidated. Because if I look at a pure class, you must have met some top guys in there, and you look at them, you're like, well, this guy is, sure, this guy is all brainy. But again, you talked of something that is, you have to learn, you need to be receptive, you have to humble yourself, learn from those that have gone ahead of you, which is one of the
Exactly.
way that a person can overcome challenges in school. So maybe just uh, um, this question that I would want you to tackle. Maybe how can someone overcome peer pressure in school? For example, they've got this bad influence from friends. Friends want them to be living a life of beer drinking, and then the person is trying to focus at the same time. They want to tackle school. At the same time, there's a life outside. Friends are telling them, bro,
Mhm.
sis, let's go party. But again, if you remember, you've got an assignment by a certain teacher, you've got that math topic to process. So like, how did you handle such things? Like, maybe how did you deal with peer pressure? I'm sure sometimes you are tempted to maybe live that high life in school, just enjoy life.
Yep.
But how did you keep such uh, situations while in school?
Okay. All right. As I mentioned earlier on, self-identity is one very important thing. So my parents always told me that you should not um, be influenced by the crowd, but rather be their influencer. You should be the one to set the rules and the regulations. Now, hold up. I'm not saying you should be the bossy one or think that you're ABCD. No. Okay. What I'm simply saying is when there's a crowd saying, we're going to do this tonight, we're going to do this tomorrow, we're going out for this, whatever, it's up to you to choose. It's up to you to decide what you want. Yes, peer pressure is so real, okay? And it can destroy one, okay? It can really ruin one, but it is in your hands to choose as to whether to do this or not to do that. So look, as I'm going to keep saying this, self-worth, self-identity is the most important thing, because when you identify yourself, then you know that, okay, I am this thing, I want this and I want that. To achieve this, there's things that I have to cut out, there's things I should not do. You have your assignments, you have tests ahead of you. Why would you go out clubbing that night and think that, okay, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and boom, a miracle is going to happen when you know you should practice? Okay, so I am going to repeat myself, guys. Self identity, who you are. I am this person. What do you want? Those are your goals. Then you figure out how you're going to achieve those goals. Okay. You have this audience, this crowd, these people around you. By the way, science says that you are about 5% of the people that surround you. That is, for every five people that surround you, there's a character in them that is the same as in you. So you choose your friends, you choose who to surround you. And if you have realized, I keep saying choice, because choice is in your hands to build yourself or to do. Set your goals, okay? Set your principles as well. And by so doing, it is very easy to overcome peer pressure. It is very easy to be the influencer instead of being influenced by the rest of the crowd. That was how I survived. Honestly, that is how I survived in school.
Okay, so that's actually good, and I believe it's really going to be of help to someone out there who's having such challenges in school. And I agree with what you've said, because I, for one, also face challenges while in school, whereby you'd be tempted by friends. Friends would just want to like make you lose focus. Bro, let's go, let's do this. But you have to prioritize certain things. When you talk of
Exactly,
education,
exactly.
education is something that you don't waste. You have to be focused when you're in school. Make sure you study hard. Just know,
Hmm.
especially identity, just like you've said, know where you're coming from. You look at parents are struggling hard just to make sure that they pay school fees for you, and then you go there, you start playing around, which is not good again. So you have to think for your parents as well. And I think discipline and having a vision roadmap where you're going is
Exactly,
very, very
exactly.
vital in the work of
Hmm.
school. So maybe one last point before we we finish our podcast. There's this problem that a lot of high school students face when it comes to media platforms, telephones. Um, like, how did you keep such things? Maybe you really want to be on WhatsApp, Facebook all the time, and you've got assignments. You have to focus on school. Everyone is talking about, oh, what's up? Everyone is talking about the new app. Everyone is talking about the latest meme on Facebook. Everyone is talking about the latest video. And then you're out there, you're a person who says, okay, uh, like, I just can't mix WhatsApp and school together. But like, how
Hmm.
did you handle this situation? Because if you look at how technology is advancing now, almost 90% of high school students have got phones. But how did you deal
Yep.
with such, like, and what advice would you give to someone who's maybe facing challenges, like someone who's failing to divide time for phone, time for studies, and just time to concentrate on things that are productive?
Okay, so I will start with this. When I was really young, my parents told me that they would get me my first smartphone after my 12th grade. And I was like, what? Are you serious? Like everybody else is living their lives and I'm just there stuck, no phone, no nothing. Like, like I'm so primitive. I don't have the smartphone or whatever. And if they actually did that, they actually got me my first smartphone on my birthday in my 12th grade after my ADMA paper. Actually, that was the day we had ADMA paper. That was the first time I had my smartphones after my 12th grade. However, of course, there were phones, gadgets, and everything around the house that I could still access, okay? But there's something called discipline that we have to learn to apply. As you said, 90% of students are on phones, okay, are on apps. They are accessing their academic resources via the internet. It's important, okay? But there's something
True.
called self-discipline. On the same gadget, you have your Facebook, you have your WhatsApp, you have your Instagram. You have to live the life of the social media. You want to fulfill that life. That discipline, discipline is going to determine who you are. Discipline will set the boundary between you being too much on the internet, you wasting your time on things that you'll still find after school, okay, and you being the serious student. So in my 12th grade, especially, I told myself that, okay, Louis, look, sacrifice just this year, just this month, so that you pass that exam and never have to sit for grade 12 exams again. Okay. So I, from the word go, January 20, whatever that year was, when I was in my 12th grade, I just told myself that, Louis, if you can stay off social media, if you can sacrifice a number of things, don't have the pleasure, the fun you had before, if you can use most of your time for your studies, trust me, you will come out with excellent grades. And you know the nicest part, Caleb?
Yeah.
After my 12th grade, I still found what I left behind. I still found the social media. I still found the same apps. I still found and there was much more time then. okay,
Yeah,
to
true,
do all
true.
this social media thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true, true, true.
exactly. So it's all about discipline, honestly, guys. It's all about discipline. You should learn to discipline yourself. You should learn to sacrifice on some things. You should learn to stop some things for some time so that you promote some other things as well. That's pretty much it.
Okay. Maybe just to add on what you've said, that's very, very true, especially where you say, after completing school, uh, you had time because before going to
Hmm.
universities, there's always that time, the waiting period,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
where you wait, and then you look at it, and then the way technology is advancing now, you might say maybe the last 2 3, maybe the last 1 year 2 years has been like a lot of things have happened on media that did not happen while it's in
Hmm.
grade 12. So yeah, you're
Hmm.
very much right. You just have to have discipline. You just have to know the phone won't die. And you know,
Exactly.
yeah, even when you have a phone, you need to utilize it like very, very well. Don't use the phone to do things that are irrelevant. Use that phone for
Hmm.
things that are productive, things that are going to contribute to you advancing your academics. Yeah, so I think
Exactly.
it's very good that we had you on the show today, and we're very much happy that you've told us how you managed to deal with challenges, and I'm sure someone out there is going to be encouraged. But maybe before you go, maybe you just love to give us your last words and maybe last encouragement to the people that are going to be watching this podcast.
Okay. To everybody who will watch this podcast, or to everybody who will share this podcast, to everybody out there, look, whatever you want to do is not new under the sun, one way or another. And if you can think it possible, you can make it possible. So if somebody can do it, okay, if we are here today making these videos because of the achievements we had, then you too can do it, because there is nothing hard to man except what he has said, what he has convinced himself to be hard. Okay, so
Sure.
it's all about the power within you, the power of belief that you need to realize and build. That's pretty much it.
Okay. So thank you very much once again, Louis. And we're going to be having Louis again anytime soon. Yeah, we'll be having this podcast uploaded every Friday. So she's going to be part of this podcast frequently. Yeah, so you're going to see much of her talk. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen that she's very brilliant, her explanations and everything. Hope you're really, really
Yay.
going to be to be helped. So to everyone who's going to be watching this podcast for the very, very first time, because it's going to be posted for the very first time, make sure that you share this video, let it reach out to that grade 12 who's having the challenge, who's having academic problems. Let them watch this video and make sure that you subscribe to the channel, like, and share. Till next time, bye bye. Okay,
Bye.
bye.